Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to our Sunday afternoon live stream. So we're here again on this Sunday afternoon, and we're going to be here for around an hour. We're going to be taking your questions as usual, and we'll be looking at things such as our latest observations, see weather. We'll have a quick look at the ECM ensembles as well, and we'll have a look at Beijing Climate Center as well for the winter of 2020-21. Beijing Climate Center is another long-range seasonal model. Of course, last week we showed you Peng's analogues for winter 2020-21. And this Sunday, we're going to show you the Beijing Climate Center. So we're going to be here, for around an hour. We'll take as many questions as we can, and we'll see how everyone is doing on this sunny afternoon. If you can all confirm that there are no feedback issues going on, that would be absolutely great. I think I've got everything sorted out with that now. Things are still playing up in the control centre, though, what they call the YouTube control centre. So I'm on the Gaz Weathervids video page, so I'm on the same page that you're all on, actually, as you're listening to this. I've got everything muted though, so there should not be any sort of feedback issues or problems or dramas, and everything should run very, very smoothly, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I can see Savvy's confirming no feedback. That's great. Savvy is moderating the live stream for us today, so if everybody can say thank you to Savvy, give Savvy a thumbs up for being our live stream moderator this afternoon. That would be absolutely fantastic. So, been a wild old few days, hasn't it? It's calming down now, though. So, it's been pretty cloudy here today. Pretty cloudy, windy, but it's just in the last hour or so, everything is starting to calm down. The wind's dropping out, and the sun is breaking through the clouds, and it certainly is looking a lot better out there now. So that's the worst of it over for me. Anyway, the worst of it is going to be over. My peas have survived. They've been clinging on for dear life, but they're okay, and we're past the worst of the gales and everything now. So things will be calming down from here on in. So tomorrow is going to be a really nice bank holiday Monday. It's unfortunate that we still remain in lockdown, really, so people aren't really supposed to be going all that far, I don't think, tomorrow, but it is going to be a very, very nice day through most parts of the country, dry, sunny, and really warm too. So if you've got a garden, it'll be absolutely lovely day to be able to get out into the sunshine and to be able to enjoy it. I'll say what I'll be doing tomorrow. I think I'm going to have a day off. I've got a historic video coming up tomorrow, so I think I'll be in the garden having a bit of a rest after so many late night recording sessions. Right, so we've got 27 people with us at the moment, so hello and thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us this afternoon. We'll give everyone a few minutes to check in before we do the main part of the screen capturing. I might just show you in a couple of minutes. I might just show you the 6Z of the GFS. If you saw Gaz Weather's Sunny Roundup, you'll know that what happened with the midnight GFS run is that it went very, very hot. The midnight GFS went really, really hot in like the first week of June. The 6Z is quite different though, so I will probably show you that in a second. But for the main part of the screen sharing, which of course is going to be like Beijing Climate Center, which what I think a lot of people are going to be tuning in for this afternoon, the main part of the screen sharing will do sort of around 5:30, give everyone plenty of time to check in. Now, I see we've got some people with us already, so thank you very much, everyone, for being with us this afternoon. We've got Sani Patel saying afternoon, Gary. So afternoon, Sani. Thank you for being here this afternoon. And I've also got Craig 98 saying that apparently I'm on at the same time as Boris. Am I really? I didn't know that, but I'd say that Boris is probably on at the same time as me, actually, because this has been our regular live streaming slot since last year, really. So I think Boris is on the same time as me, rather than me being on at the same time as Boris, to be honest. But thanks for being with us anyway, Craig. We've got Simon Jenkins saying, afternoon, Gavin. Hope you're having a nice day. Yeah, I have a lovely day, thank you, Simon. Hope you're having a nice day too as well, my friend. Mark Hodgkin is saying, hi there, Gavin. So good afternoon, Mark. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. And Chris Taylor is in with us as well, saying hello, Gav, and hello, everyone. So good afternoon, Chris, and thank you for being with us this afternoon. And Petru is saying, hi, Gav, great to tune in to your live stream. Always look forward to it. That's absolutely fantastic, Alan. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. And Shiram is with us as well. So good afternoon, Shiram. Thank you for being with us this afternoon on our live stream. James Jukebox saying, no gremlins today. Indeed, James. No gremlins. So we certainly don't want any either. So we've had a nice smooth start so far to our live stream. Everything seems to be going okay so far. Have one or two more. And then I might show you the GFS 6Z before we go any further. So it's such a contrast what happened with the 6Z to the midnight GFS. I'll show you that any second. So have a look at one or two more. Mark Kanish saying, hi Yamin, hope you're well. Saw your summer update today. You mentioned La Nina has developed quite quickly. Does that mean 2007 summer is on the way? Let's hope not. That was in Gav's Webby's Sunny Roundup, I think that I said that, Mark. Or it might have been the summer update. All those updates, I've been doing so many of them recently. All the updates are beginning to blur into one, to be honest. But yeah, the La Nina has developed rather quickly. It is only quite a weak affair at the moment, though, so we need to wait and see how strong it gets. But I wouldn't be overly concerned about it, though. I don't think it's strong enough to be having any impacts. It's nothing like what we had at this point in 2007, for example, when the Pacific, both the Equatorial Pacific and the more wider Pacific Ocean, was in a much colder state at this point in 2007. So it's nothing as dramatic as that, and I would be surprised if it's strong enough to have much of an impact. But it has moved quite quickly. That's the one thing we do have to say. So obviously if it was to keep developing at this rate, then it may have an effect as we go through, like into the sort of later part of the summer, perhaps. But we'll see. I wouldn't be overly concerned about it at this point. We've got 39, just under 40 people watching us right now. So hello and thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget to give us a like on the video, give us a thumbs up, and let us know, let YouTube know that you're enjoying the video and the live stream. And also, Super Chat is enabled for this live stream, so if you want to give a donation through Super Chat, have your comment or question flagged up, that's an option. And you can donate to the stream through Streamlabs as well, which I think is tied to PayPal, so thank you so much, everyone, for that. Right, let's just have a quick look at those 12Z runs then, or V6Z, I should say. So, I'll just going to enable the screen capture. This isn't the main part of the screen share. We'll do about 5:30, give everyone enough time to check in with us, and give them enough time before we go on to the Beijing Climate Center section. But I'll just show you this very quickly. So let's turn off the image and put up the display capture. There we go. And so this was the midnight GFS run. So if you saw Gav's Webby's Sunny Roundup, you'll know that the midnight GFS run went very hot. We start at day 10, which is Wednesday the 9th of June, Azores High ridging in, bringing a lot of dry and fine weather. That's how things looked with the midnight GFS run for the 4th of June. Again, the high pressure ridging in from off the Atlantic. And then, as we go through Friday the 5th, the high pressure begins to shift over to our east. And what that does, it starts to drag up a much warmer air mass from the south and from the southwest as well. So it turned really warm. There we go. That's 7th of June. Turned really warm. In fact, hot from the south. Started to bring plus 15 Celsius isotherm into the country. And sort of heat wave type conditions. I'll show you the upper air temperatures there for the 7th of June you'll see that we are talking about proper sort of heat wave type conditions setting up there on the midnight GFS run for around the 7th of June. Before, at the very end, on the 9th of June, begin to hint at a fudgy breakdown, but of course that's a long way off. So that was the midnight run. I showed you that in Gav's Weatherman's Sunday Roundup. But let's have a look at the 6Z. Same sort of scenario at day 10, or around day 10 with the 6Z, which is the 3rd of June. We've got the ridge in from off the Atlantic, extending in across the coast, but not going quite as far northwards. But then look what happens after that. Instead of taking the high pressure over and to our east and pulling up hot winds from the south, the 6Z actually took the high pressure out into the Atlantic and pulled down a northerly wind. And that is a real northerly blast. And in fact, I have seen some data that says that does bring sort of wintry showers, snow showers to northern parts of Scotland. It is cold enough, that northerly, for wintry showers in the north. And it's so different. That is such a different scenario with the 6Z to the midnight run. It does make you wonder what's going on with the models at the moment. So much uncertainty. I mean, this is a genuine northern blocking type thing that's setting up here by the time we get through to the 8th of June. We've taken the high pressure right way up to Greenland. And we're sticking up a trough underneath it as well. That's always the danger with northern blocking, by the way. In the videos, I talk quite regularly about how northern blocking is always a worry, because you'll tend to stick up a trough of low pressure underneath it in the summer, and that's a classic example of that. So you've got the block there through the northern Atlantic going to Greenland, and then this green just here, that's a trough within the 500 millibar flow extending through northern and western parts of Europe. You've also got low pressure involved over Spain. That's being triggered by the hot air that's over Spain, of course, and this just intensifies, really, as this comes northwards, just intensifies the main trough that's under the block. So it's so different between the two scenarios as we go through the first week of June. And the midday run, the 12Z, is actually just updating at the moment, but it's early on into the run. We may come back to that right at the very end of the video and have a look at that right at the end of the live stream, I should say. We may do that. So we'll see what time we have in the last 5 minutes, and if we can see what 12Z is doing. Anyway, I thought you would like to have a look at that, because as I said, it's very different scenarios between two sort of model runs of the same model, if you like. So quite bizarre what's going on at the moment. We have seen a lot of this, of course. There's been a lot of this going on over the past few weeks. It seemed to start around the time of the lockdown. Whether that has anything to do with it, or its lack of observational data from aircraft, or whether it's something else, you know, I don't know. But definitely there does seem to be something at play in the model output that is causing a huge amount of uncertainty, and you know, more uncertainty than you would normally expect, if you see what I mean. More uncertainty than you, because you always expect quite a bit of uncertainty anyway when you're talking about sort of days 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You expect a lot of uncertainty within that anyway, but this is sort of even more uncertain than you expect, and we've been seeing this for a little while. So what I would say, though, is that I would tend to, at the moment, I tend to always be favouring the warmest, driest outcome. Don't know about anybody else, and let me know what you think about this in the live chat. But to me, I think at the moment you always have to kind of favour like the warmest and driest outcome, really. But that's just my view. Let me know what you think about that in the live chat. Right, so in around, what time is it? In around 15 minutes, we'll do some more screen capturing, and then we'll show you the Beijing Climate Center forecast for the winter of 2020-21. I want to give everybody enough time to check in. I see we're just under 60 people watching us now, so hello, good afternoon, and thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Right, let's get back to the live chat then, and we're going to look at a few more of your questions and comments. So we've got JP Romeo saying, good afternoon, Gav. Winds have died down and it's very warm. This has to be up there with one of the best late springs for sunshine and lack of rainfall. 7 weeks of very dry and sunny weather. Yes, I think you're right, JRP. I think it's going to be up there with, like, definitely for May, it's going to be up there with the driest Mays on record, I would have thought. That's what we was channeling with our summer update today, looking at summers following dry Mays. And yeah, I think you're right. I think really we've had around 7 8 weeks of like continuously dry, fine, warm, very warm conditions, and it just makes you wonder whether this is going to go on into the summer and whether it extend out into the summer, or whether we will have like the dreaded flip. Will we have the dreaded flip and swing the other way? We'll see in a week's time what the Gaz Weather Summer 2020 forecast is predicting, of course. Excuse me. Now I've got Paul Miller saying, afternoon Gav, everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Is summer difficult to forecast, or are you confident? This is a pretty difficult summer to forecast for, actually, Paul. If you've been keeping up with the updates that we've been doing week by week, you'll know that there hasn't been a clear and consistent signal really with these summer updates, with the summer updates this season. So it is quite a difficult season to predict. And also, I think what's making this one quite tricky this summer is the unknown factor of what's going to happen with La Nina, because we can see we are developing the La Nina quite quickly, but it's at the moment it's still relatively weak. We're going to do our ENSO update on Friday, and I suspect, I haven't looked at like a cross range of models actually for ENSO yet, but I would suspect most of the model output will still be either like neutral to weak La Nina, and so that's not strong enough to have too much of an effect. But because we're having quite a quick transition into this La Nina, if the La Nina was to really start to power up, then that would give a bad signal for this summer. The other unknown quantity, of course, is that we have gone from a very from established very wet pattern that we have through the autumn and the winter. We've gone from that into now a very established dry, warm pattern through the spring. And the unknown with this is whether we keep this established dry, warm pattern going, or whether, as I say, we get the dreaded flip and we flip into a cooler, wetter pattern. So it is a very, very tricky forecast, actually, this. And summer is always a very difficult season to forecast for anyway, primarily because the weather patterns tend to be very slack. A lot of the key drivers that work in winter forecasting, like the QBO, the quasi-biennial oscillation, and those sort of things, those key drivers tend not to be as impactful, really, for the summer. So summer is always just about the hardest season to forecast for. It is for me anyway, and this one is no different. In fact, this is probably one of the hardest summer forecasts that I've ever had to do. But we will be issuing a forecast for you on Sunday. We've got 61 people with us right now, so hello. Thank you everyone for tuning in on your Sunday afternoon. I hope you're having a great afternoon. I hope the wind is finally dying down. It was really nasty, wasn't it, that wind? But yeah, I hope it's finally calming down and the sun's coming out where you are. Katrine Baso is with us saying, good afternoon, Gavin and everyone. I hope everyone is keeping well. I'm absolutely fine, thanks, Katrine, and I hope you're having a lovely afternoon and you're okay as well. Shiram is saying, hello Gavin, winter 2009-10 had a moderate Madoki El Nino and winter 10-11 had quite a strong La Nina. Do you know why Madoki ENSO events could favour a cold event generally, a cold winter generally? Madoki El Nino is particularly for America, so Madoki El Nino particularly favours cold air coming into America. Now, you can get cold air into America by two routes, really. So one route to get cold air into America is the kind of thing we've seen quite a bit of over the past few winters, which is where you get a big area of high pressure setting up around Alaska at a trough of low pressure somewhere around sort of eastern Canada and northeast America, and that drives down a cold northerly wind. And with that tends to be a pattern that blows up the jet stream, and you get areas of low pressure rain coming out of America across the Atlantic, crashing into northern Europe. So for us, that kind of cold into America tends to be that tends to be like a mild zonal, wet and windy sort of wind signal for us. The other way to get cold into America, though, is to really push the jet stream a long way southwards into the far south of America. So the jet stream tracks through Texas, those far southern states. And that tends to be associated with higher pressure up towards Greenland as well. And when you get high pressure up towards Greenland, then you can get it cold on both sides of the Atlantic. And that's exactly what happened in 09-10. We had cold air plunging down into Northern America, but we also had cold air plunging down into Northern Europe as well. The jet stream took a very far track across the south of America. Those southern states had a very wet winter, and it was associated with quite a lot of northern blocking. So it's actually Modoki El Nino is actually something that affects America more than us. But because we're downstream from America, it can have a knock-on effect for our weather as well. So Modoki El Nino probably wouldn't affect our weather directly, but we are or can be impacted indirectly by the storm track shifting southwards into southern America. So I hope that answers your question, Sharon. Michael Johnson is saying good afternoon, Gavin, and all good afternoon, Michael. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. We've all got also got iTech Talk saying, I hope we get cold weather this winter because last winter was so boring here in the south. After low after low after low, it was getting a bit dull. It did get rather monotonous, didn't it, iTech? I wouldn't necessarily say it was boring because it was extremely wild winter, and it certainly kept us on our toes, and of course we saw those awful floods where some unfortunate people were absolutely flooded out during last summer. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was boring, but it certainly got very, very monotonous, didn't it? It got really monotonous. And yeah, hopefully we won't have a repeat. I would be surprised if we had anything quite as zonal. We had the polar vortex of doom. I would be surprised if we got another polar vortex of doom quite so soon afterwards. But we shall see. You never say never with the weather, as I always say. Now, have a look at one or two more. Mark Kanish is saying, when you mentioned today about ECQBO and it failed, if we have a 2007 type summer, it wouldn't make 2020 good virus flooded out summer and failed easily. Let's hope not. Yes, indeed, Mark. Definitely. Let's hope not. So in around 5 minutes, around 5:30, we're going to do some screen capturing. We'll have a look at latest observations from XE Weather. We shall look at the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10 and day 14. And, of course, I suspect what a lot of you are waiting for, we will be having a look at the Beijing Climate Center seasonal model forecast for the winter of 2020-2021. That will be coming up from around 5:30. Carrying on through the chat, so there's a not very polite comment about Boris, and I think we'll skate over very quickly. I've got Stefan. Stefan is with us. Stefan Sanseverino. I probably haven't pronounced that right, but Stefan Sanseverino is with us saying, afternoon, Gav. So good afternoon, Stefan. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Alpha SB is with us as well. So good afternoon, SB. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. I hope you're having a great afternoon. Kevin Barber is saying, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all well and enjoying your sunny afternoon. Beautiful afternoon in North Essex. Live streaming in my back garden, taking in the rays. Well, I don't blame you, Kevin. I don't blame you for being out in the sunshine while you can. Don't have me on too loud, though, because not everybody wants to hear me speaking. So not everybody likes me, so don't have me on too loud. But I hope you're having a great afternoon. And, well done for being able to get out into the sunshine. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I think I'm going to be out in the sun in the garden, I think. Philip is saying, afternoon Gab, afternoon everyone, lovely weather again today. It certainly is a lot better, isn't it, Philip? It's certainly calmed down from all of that wild weather that we had the other day. It was still pretty blowy this morning, actually. It's only this afternoon, really, that the wind has finally started to die down here. But up to this morning, it was still pretty blowy even then. So Savvy is saying, love a few hot days, doing nothing but enjoying the sun. Well, certainly have plenty of that, Savvy, so you don't have to worry on that count. There's going to be, plenty of really warm weather coming up over next year. I don't necessarily say hot, but certainly very warm. Temperatures mid to upper 20 Celsius, which for a lot of people is going to be hot. I think the official definition of hot is probably around 30, so we probably don't get that high, but certainly going to be very warm, and a lot of people will be thinking, yes, the weather's turned pretty hot. So a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, we'll do that screen catch-up that I've been promising you. We've got 65 people with us at the moment. Please give us a thumbs up on video if you haven't yet done so. Smash the like button and let YouTube know that you're enjoying the live stream. So moving down the chat, we'll have a look at what one or two more of you saying. Kieran Bushell is saying, hi Gav, do you think we are looking close to getting a tripole in the North Atlantic? It certainly looks like it could be edging in that direction, Kieran. I have to be very, very careful what I say about this. So I tend, not to say anything about tripoles at this time of year. Just keep it zipped. Don't say anything. But I did let slip this morning that on the new, actually it's not particularly yet on the old NOAA sea surface temperature anomaly maps, but on the new NOAA sea surface temperature anomaly maps, it does look as though we are sort of edging towards like a tripole type pattern. But I'm not going to say any more than that, and we're going to release the GASWeatherVid's NAO forecast for the winter 2020-21 in a few weeks' time. I haven't got the exact day penciled in where we'll release that to the general public, but I think it's probably going to be a little bit earlier this year, actually. Normally I keep it until like the opening week or so of July, but I think we might issue the NAO forecast a little bit earlier this year. I can do it any time after May. So I can do it any time after the 31st of May, really. So I think we'll probably issue the NAO forecast in June this year. But let me know in the comments whether you want to see the NAO forecast in June. Or let me know in the live chat what you think about that. But it's been a rather down few sort of weeks, hasn't it? And we're unable to do like the event stuff that we normally do at this time of year, like the Glasgow and all of that. So it's been a very down few weeks generally, and I think a lot of you will probably like to see the NAO forecast maybe in June this year rather than holding it back to July. Doesn't really make a lot of difference when we release it, as long as it's after May. The only reason that I choose July generally is that it's that little bit closer to winter, so people can make the connection a little bit better perhaps in July to the coming winter than June. But it doesn't really make any difference when it's released. It can be any time after the last day of May, really. So that will probably be coming up a little bit earlier than usual. And between now and then, I probably won't say all that much about the NAO tripoles and Atlantic sea surface temperatures and all of that sort of thing, so that I can't be told off for prejudging anything. Moving down the chat, we've got Chris Taylor saying, how does the ECM-WF compare to the 6Z run? The ECM Midnight run is shown in the in GASWeather's Sunny Roundup, Chris, so have a look at that. And the midday run won't be updated until the midday ECM run won't be updated until between 7 and 8 o'clock. So we'll find out this evening. Rick O'Neill, I think that is. Rick O'Neill saying, let's hope that doesn't happen So I think that refers to when I was showing the trough setting up underneath a block with the GF. They've got 70 people with us now, so thank you so much everybody for tuning in. We're going to be doing that screen capturing any second. I think that's what a lot of you are waiting for. Vox in Tenebris is saying, hi everyone, hi Gavin, thanks for all that you do. I think this is one of the most challenging years for crops thus far. Yes, it's been really difficult growing season again, Vox. Definitely for me, very difficult, so dry. We had unusually cold nights back earlier in May, and we also had the strong winds as well. So yes, definitely. And Johan Van Aert is with us here. Hello, Gav. So hello, Johan. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Right, so I think that's left enough time for everyone to get in. We've gone up to 70 people watching, so let's do that little bit of screen capturing then, shall we? And we're going to show you the latest observations from XC Weather. We're going to show you the options on the table within the Icelandic Met Office, and we are also going to show you the Beijing Climate Center seasonal model forecast winter of 2020-21. But let's crack on with it. So we'll turn off the image once again, and we'll update the display capture. There we go. And we shall move over to XC Weather. So currently the temperature observations are looking like this. We've got 22 degrees as our high temperature right now. We've got 22 at Pershore, and we've got 22 degrees at London City Airport. 22 degrees is also flashing away at London Gatwick, and 22 is, or 21 is at Heathrow. 22 is at Norfolk. So we're in the low 20s. It's already warm, and the coming days are going to get warmer. Looking down to southwest, we can see that Northwick is at 17 degrees into the south of Wales. Pembrey Sands is at 14.2. Moving north to the north of Wales, Capel Currig is at 14 degrees. Going over to northern England, we've got Leeming at 15 degrees. And then going further northwards up towards Scotland, we see that Strathallan is at 16 degrees. On the east side of Scotland, it's a little bit warmer there. Aboyne is at 16, but the west of Scotland is cooler. So we've got South Uist at just 13 degrees, then down into Northern Ireland, we've got Belfast at 17. It's quite warm out there this afternoon, and the coming days are going to get warmer. I think tomorrow will probably max out at around 25, maybe 26, upper 70s Fahrenheit, and there's a potential for things to get a little bit warmer than that, so I wouldn't necessarily rule out 27 on Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon. Will depend on sunshine amounts, of course, but I wouldn't rule it out. Right, so these are the options on the table in the East Ensembles. I couldn't show you these within Gav's WeatherVid Sunday Roundup today because the Icelandic Met Office doesn't get these up. Now we've gone to BST, which is summertime. The Icelandic Met Office doesn't get this up until 11:30 our time. So that's too late when I'm doing the Sunday Roundup because I have to record it quite early. So we hold these back and have a look at them in the live stream. So these options that we've got for the 2nd of June, this top left hand box just here looks a little bit unsettled. Low pressure to our north and to our south, some ridging to our northeast and southwest. That's a rather unsettled option at day 10. 19 in this middle box just here, which does include the control and the operational run, have a big ridge of high pressure through the country. That brings us a lot of dry and warm weather. That, as I say, includes the operational ECM run at day 10. And then 6 in this pink top right box just here has us under a ridge of high pressure, which is just to our west. But that's like a dryish option. Could be a little bit cooler as the wind is coming in from the northwest. Most of the options are pointing towards higher pressure, probably. If we put the 19 member 6 there, probably pointing us towards higher pressure around day 10. In 2 weeks' time, so we've got 14 members in this top right-hand pink box just here that have the above average heights to our west, below average heights to our east. That's going to be putting down some cooler winds from the north. This for the 8th of June, I should say. 14 members of the ECM ensembles have us under an area of high pressure. They're going to be mainly dry. 13 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure to our north, and they'll be bringing in like an east wind. That's going to be mainly dry and quite warm. And then 10 in this bottom left-hand box just here look unsettled with low pressure light coming in from off the Atlantic. Overall, it looks like the ECM ensembles still want to keep a high pressure influence somewhere close to the country. They are bearing in where that high pressure sits, of course, because it's 2 weeks away. But it does look as though even in 2 weeks' time, the ECM ensembles still want to have some sort of influence from high pressure. Right, so let's have a look at what I think most of you are probably waiting to see in this live stream, and that is the Beijing Climate Center. So we did the CFS versus Beijing Climate Center 6 months look ahead for you last night. We went from June to November, and we stopped at November with both CFS and the Beijing Climate Center. And so this is where we stopped with last night's Beijing Climate Center versus CFS 6 months look ahead. In November, the 500 millibar height anomaly showing quite a lot of high pressure sitting to our north, quite a northern blocking type signal. We've got all of this red just here. Lower pressure is sort of to our south. So potentially starting to bring in some cold air from the east by November, but still a lot of dry and fine weather. I'm going to move on then, and we'll go into the winter months. So this is what Beijing Climate Center is forecasting for December. This is 500 millibar height anomaly for December. Remember, I haven't got the highlighter for this, but remember the UK and Ireland are in the extreme right-hand side of the chart as you're looking at it. We're always perched with these long-range seasonal models charts. We're always kind of perched right on the very, very edges of the chart. It can be quite difficult to make us out at times, but where I've got the cursor, where the white cursor is, we are just there. And so for December, the 500 millibar height anomaly has us under an area of high pressure. It's not a northern blocking feature. It won't be overly cold. It could be cold from frost and fog, of course, but it could also just be like anticyclonic gloom, and just generally quite a dreary sort of month, maybe with a lot of murk, and temperatures not overly cold unless we get frost and that sort of thing. We're not bringing in any sort of northerly or easterly type elements. That one is January. So this is how the January 500 millibar height anomaly is looking. And in January, again, we've got the high pressure sitting over, and this time a little bit more to our east-northeast. So this, again, it's another anticyclonic month. It's quite strange what's happened with the Beijing Climate Center this month, because it's just gone to town on high pressure, like through the summer, through the autumn, and also extending on into the winter. So whether it's had some sort of breakdown, where it's gone off on some sort of tangent this month, I don't know. But January still has us under high pressure. The only difference, though, is that the high pressure is beginning to move northwards and eastwards. So it's starting to move more over towards Scandinavia, just there, which potentially could start to let some slightly cooler air in from the east. However, overall, that is still just mostly anticyclonic, dry, quiet, and not particularly cold. That is February. Then it starts to get very interesting. This is February 2021. And the high pressure goes further northwards. The high pressure becomes a northern blocking feature. We've got all of this red up here towards Greenland and Iceland. That is genuine proper northern blocking. Low pressure sets up underneath it around Spain. We've got those blue colours there around Spain and over here across Central Europe. So that would drive the wind in from the east and the northeast. That would be much colder in February. February could potentially be much colder with snow coming in from the east across many parts of Europe. I mean, bear in mind, this is all just for fun, so do please keep this in mind. And with all of the other long range stuff that I'm showing in these live streams, I really shouldn't be showing you all of this stuff because it's too early. But while we're in such grim times, I wanted everyone to be able to have a bit of fun and you know, sort of do something that isn't involving this dreadful virus and whatnot. And so I've been showing you this longer range stuff for a few months now. But just as long as everybody takes it for what it is, which is just for fun. But that would be a very cold and wintry February. And I've also decided to show you March as well. So we get high pressure events in the North Atlantic in March up towards Greenland. Trough of low pressure is to our east. Drives in the wind from the north for March. So that will be a cold March as well. Be a very cold and wintry potential for March. This is the overall winter 2020-21 500 millibar height only for the Beijing Climate Center for this month. So it is high pressure dominated. The high pressure is just to our north. But bear in mind, as the winter goes on, the Beijing Climate Center takes the high pressure further and further northwards. So we start off just with like a mid-latitude type high in December, but by the time you get through to February, it's become a northern blocking feature. So you don't necessarily take that 3-monthly anomaly too seriously, because each month takes a high pressure further and further northwards. And that's the 500 millibar high anomaly for January to March. Again, the high pressure is further north at this point. So obviously it tells us as the winter goes on, the high pressure just keeps going further and further and further north until eventually we're able to pull in some very cold air from the east and from the north potentially. Just show you the temperature anomalies. So this is how the temperature anomalies are looking for December. Relatively mild. You see we're in those orange sort of shading, so relatively mild December. Obviously with high pressure over us, we could get frost and fog and that sort of thing, but overall it's a relatively mild December. Still relatively mild in January as well, although you notice on the continent things are cooling down a little bit in January, so it's a little bit more cold potential for January, but still relatively it's a mild month. But February goes cold on average. We start to bring some cold average temperature anomalies into the UK. Cold average temperature anomalies begin to appear across central parts of Europe as well. And then as we move into March, actually March is the coldest month of all as the anomaly to average. On the temperature scale, we're around 1.5 to 2 degrees below average, I think, for March. So things go really quite cold indeed, very cold in March, as the high pressure again just goes further and further northward. So quite an interesting update from the Beijing Climate Center. Probably not as much northern blocking and as cold as Peng's analogues are hinting at for this winter, but it's another model that's sort of inching itself in that kind of direction. And of course, what you have to do with these long-range models is take them all as a whole, if you like. So you can't really pick one out and say that's definitely what's going to happen. The best thing to do is what we do, I think, at Gaz Weathits when we do our season model roundups, where we get all of the long-range models together, see what they're all showing. But we've got Peng's analogues definitely going for something colder for this winter for Northern Europe, and now we've got the Beijing Climate Center just adding a little bit more fuel to the fire. But of course it is very, 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 I'll say it again, very early days with this, so please everybody just take this as a bit of fun and something to something to enjoy while we're live streaming, but it by no means is a clear or definitive forecast at all. I hope you enjoyed that little section with Beijing Climate Center, and of course we shall be doing more of this in our Sunday live streams in the coming weeks and months. I want the Sunday live streams to be more sort of directed towards the longer range, perhaps, and then the Wednesday live stream, because we're going to be live streaming on Wednesday from 6 o'clock, just see how it goes for a couple of weeks, see what sort of response we get with that. The Wednesday live stream, I want that to be more towards a shorter range, perhaps. That's sort of idea that I've been thinking of with this. But we shall see how it goes anyway. And yeah, so we'll be doing more of this long range stuff, showing more of these long range type patterns and models and whatnot in the Sunday streams. Unfortunately, next week's Sunday stream is going to be like the last day of it would be the last day of May. So we won't have Can 6 until the following live stream. So I'm not sure what model we'll look at next week. Maybe the CFS V2, and perhaps do a little bit with the CFS V2 in next Sunday's live stream, and see if we can ascertain what that might be indicating and pushing us towards, perhaps. I see that around 70 people with us while we're doing that little bit of screen catching. So thank you so much, everybody, for being with us this afternoon. That's absolutely great. Thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget to give us a like on the video, give us a thumbs up, and let us know that you have enjoyed the live stream. I'm going to be here for around another 15 minutes, and then we'll be winding things up after that. Also, I've been very, very busy in the live chat, so I'm not going to be able to answer everybody's questions and comments and whatnot. But thank you so much, everybody, for getting involved and being with us this afternoon. That's absolutely great. It's absolutely fantastic. So Ken is with us saying, do you think the weather pattern will continue that we've seen the last few months? A week of sunny, dry weather followed by 4 to 5 days of cloud and cooler weather followed by warmth again. It's possible, Ken. The weather does tend to get itself into those kind of, kind of repeating patterns. So it's a possibility, definitely, that could happen. AW is saying that I would prefer a cold blast than boiling hot, which makes it hard to sleep properly. Well, I think there's probably quite a lot of people who agree about that, actually. AW, a surprising number of people that I know don't like warm weather, hot weather. So quite a few people who I know would like to keep it cooler. Vox is saying large numbers of spiders coming into the house here. Normally something I would not see until August or September. Not sure what explains that. We've also got our moderator, Lilac Floyd, with us as well. So thank you so much, Lilac. So if everybody can say thank you to Sabby for moderating and also thank you to Lilac, that would be absolutely great. Lilac's saying hot August this year, surely. So we're definitely due one, Lilac. We shall see. But yes, we're definitely due a hot August. Also got Paul Pyro. Paul Pyro is saying arachnoids are good to keep the fly population on their toes. Right, so I'm not sure what that... that probably relates to the spiders. That probably relates to the spiders, doesn't it? Kevin is saying, I love muggy weather. We've got David Birch with us saying, Arctic amplification is great for cold. Yes, indeed, David. If you hook that ridge up into the Arctic, then you're going to tend to push a trough out. And that can be quite a cool wet pattern at this time of the year. Ken saying, Gav, can you talk about your background in weather prediction? You seem like you know what you're talking about. I'm completely self-taught, Ken, so I've not got any qualifications in forecasting. I'm an amateur, but I'm self-taught, and I've been studying the weather patterns for many, many years now. I started with this interest in the weather a really, really long time ago, back when I was a child, actually, back watching BBC weather forecasts. And of course, back then they used to show you data they don't show you now all that much, like synoptic weather patterns. And also they used to do something called Weather View. Weather View used to be on around 5 to midnight every day on BBC Two. And they went more in depth in Weather View, and that's where I learned a lot about the weather to start off with Weather View. Which used to be on late at night, 5 to midnight every night. And then after that, of course, went online in 2000, joined some forums, particularly the weatheroutlook.com. We gave them a nice shout out today in the summer update. So if you're not a member of the Weather Outlook forum, then do please check them out. Brian at Weather Outlook has done a huge amount to help me with Gav's weather vids over the years. You know, it's just been really, really great to me. So I know that all the weather websites have been really badly impacted by the coronavirus, including Gav's weather vids as well, of course. But I think we've been getting through this a little bit better due to having the YouTube platform and whatnot. But all of the weather websites have been hit quite badly. I think the Weather Outlook as well has been hit quite badly by the coronavirus. So if everybody can check out the Weather Outlook and check out my good friend Brian's website at theweatheroutlook.com, and they've got a great forum. established there as well, that's been going for many, many years, then that would be absolutely fantastic. I just heard that bird chirping away again. Did you hear that? We did Gaz Weather's Sunny Round, and I was competing through large portions of it with a very, very noisy bird outside the window, and it sounded like the bird is back. So hopefully I'm not going to have to spend the last 10 minutes of this live stream competing with that noisy bird. I'm going to move down through the chat, and Isaac Shaw is saying, "Hi Gav, thank you for your hard work, really enjoying your videos. Just wondering if you could tell me what sunspots do or are." That's a very involved question, Isaac. It's a little bit late in the live stream to be able to go through that, but I tell you what, we're going to be doing Solar Sunday quite shortly. I haven't got a date for Solar Sunday at the moment, but we're definitely going to have at least one more Solar Sunday before we go on to the winter updates. Winter updates will be starting in September, of course. We always like to do one in the summer. There will be a Solar Sunday coming up soon. I haven't spoken to James about this, who updates all of our solar activity tracker, so if James is watching this live stream, this is going to be a bit of a surprise for him. But we definitely want to get a Solar Sunday in, and I tell you what, with that we shall answer that question, and we'll talk about what sunspots are and what they're doing when they're forming. How about that? Because I think I'm a little bit late within the last year. We're going to be here for another 10 minutes. I want to get some more questions. So it's a very involved answer that I'm going to have to give for that. So we'll cover that in the next Solar Sunday. I promise you that, Isaac. Shiram is saying, do you prefer old BBC weather symbols or the current graphics? Definitely the old ones, Shiram. I'm set in my ways. I like the old symbols, definitely. We've got Pyro Paul saying, how did the NAO forecast do last year at this time? I think what we went for with the NAO forecast last year was weekly negative, so not that good. Remember, it's only one element of the winter forecast pool, so I would not do a winter forecast based purely and entirely and totally on the NAO forecast. I definitely would not base, and neither would I, by the way, base a winter forecast on any other single thing like solar activity or ENSO, El Nino state, or the Cubio. I wouldn't want to be basing a winter forecast or any seasonal forecast on any one particular element. You have to take a multidisciplinary approach, take a cross sort of section of different drivers and things that you're interested in. And that you think are gonna be important players for the season. So the NAO forecast is just like our starting point, if you like. So I make it akin to baking a cake, really. The NAO forecast is probably like putting the flour into the mixing bowl. So you put the flour in, but on its own, that doesn't get you anywhere. That's just a bowl of flour. Then you've got to start adding your eggs, you've got to start adding your milk and all of your other ingredients to get the cake together. And that's what we do when we move through into the proper winter update. So the NAO forecast is just the starting point, if you like. Every journey has a first step. Every saga has a beginning, channeling Star Wars, and the NAO forecast is just starting us off, really. So also I'm going to move down through the chat quite a bit because I'm running quite late. It's been very, very busy, so thank you so much, everybody, for being with us this afternoon. That's absolutely great. Thanks so much, everybody, for getting involved in the live stream. And of course, we're going to be here again on Wednesday. So if I am missing out, I'm going to have to miss out quite a few of your comments, unfortunately. So if I miss anybody out, you'll be able to have another go on Wednesday, and we're going to be here from 6 o'clock on Wednesday, new time for Wednesday's live stream, of course. So I'm going to move down and come towards the final sort of comments. So Paul Miller is saying Beast from the East is overdue, did not appear last winter. Beast from the East hasn't appeared since 2018, actually, Paul. But yes, I think we're definitely due it. So also got Paul Miller saying never seen a white Christmas. Well, 2010 had a pretty good snow cover across most parts of the country. Wasn't all that much snow falling Christmas Day 2010, but there was certainly some fairly widespread snow cover. We had a couple of inches, around 3 inches of snow here on the ground, and it's freezing cold as well on that Christmas day. Absolutely Dickensian Christmas. Max is saying GFS time, so shall we have a look at the GFS before we wrap this up? Possibly in around a minute, I might have a quick look at GFS, see where it's got to and see what that's showing for early June. Maybe we can do that. Also got Angie Denton saying snow in February would be a great birthday present for me, and also agree Gav. Also agree Gav deserves some recognition for what he does, giving me better understanding of what goes on in weather than anyone else. I think somebody must have said something very, very nice about me up in the chat, so I probably missed that. But I think somebody must have said that I deserve some recognition. Also, I think it's Kevin saying something nice, or maybe it's somebody else. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for all of the lovely comments. That's absolutely lovely, and I'm just always blown away by how nice everybody is to me, to be honest. Everybody is so kind to me. And yes, so I'm very happy with what I do, and the fact that you all love you'll love what I'm doing makes it all worthwhile. But everyone is so nice to me, and thank you so much, everybody, for the lovely comments that you've all given me, Angie and Kevin, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. That's absolutely lovely. Shall we have a look at the 12Z then? Why not? We started with that, so I've just got to enable the display capture again. I'm going to be wrapping this up quite shortly, so I'm going to turn off the image, enable the display capture. There we go. So we'll refresh Weather Central, and let's see what it's showing. So as far as we can get to now, so let's go 192 hours. That's what it's showing, 192 hours. We're under area of high pressure on the 1st of June, 216 hours. Looks like that. High pressure pulls out to our west. We can pull down some cooler air from the north. I don't think the 12Z is going to follow the midnight run and bring in that heat wave. I think it's going to follow the 6 o'clock run. 3rd of June, we've got high pressure out to our northwest, low pressures to our east, and we're sort of bringing in like a north to northeasterly type flow. Then the high pressure continues. As long as the high pressure is out to our west, we're going to be on the cool side of the ridge. So this is all still relatively dry stuff, I have to say. It's not going for anywhere near the amount of northern blocking that the 6Z did, but it's as long as we're on that cool side of the ridge, we'll be bringing in the wind from the north. That's only look as far as we can get to is 336 hours, which is to the 7th of June, and by then we're taking the high pressure even further north, and we're starting to develop a cold wet pattern. So the 12Z is somewhere in between like the 6 o'clock run and the midnight run. It's certainly not going for anything as hot as the midnight run did. It's probably not as cold as the 6Z. But there we go. So it's a little bit in between really. Right, so that's brought you up to date with the 12Z. As I say, on Wednesday's live stream, because we're doing it a little bit later, what we'll do on Wednesday's live stream is have a look at the 12Z GFS, and we'll also be able to show you the 12Z GEM. Won't be able to show you the ECMWF on Wednesday, because that won't update until after between 7 and 8 o'clock. So won't be able to show you that, but we'll be able to show you the 12Z GFS, and we'll be able to show you the 12Z GEM as well. So that's what we'll be doing on Wednesday from 6 o'clock. Right, so then, I think that pretty much wraps things up. So thank you so much, everybody, for being with us this afternoon. I hope you have enjoyed this live stream. If you haven't yet, please give us a like on the video. Let us know that you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much to Savvy for moderating the live stream today. Thank you so much to everybody for getting involved in the live chat, and for being with us this afternoon. That's absolutely great. It's absolutely fantastic. So it's Kieran Bushnell who was suggesting, it was a suggestion but you deserve an MBE. I'm not sure I deserve an MBE, Kieran. I think that would be going a little bit too far in. I'm not doing anything that would be warranting an MBE. But thank you so much, everybody, for all of the lovely comments. I'm always amazed, that everybody is so kind to me, really. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for very, very kind and very lovely comments. It's absolutely fantastic. Right, so I think it's been a really enjoyable stream today. Thank you, everyone. Right, so I have a day off tomorrow, as you know. So I have been having a lot of late night recording sessions this week, and actually last night I didn't know whether anybody noticed when you was watching the the summer update, but the voice was beginning to give out a little bit last night when I was recording the summer update. I felt my throat was tightening up a little bit, so I think I need to give the voice a rest. So no sort of live videos coming up tomorrow, but we will have the historic video. It's already recorded, episode 3 of the Frozen 40s trilogy, looking at the winter of 1941-1942, the last of the trilogy of very cold winters in the early 1940s. That's going to be tomorrow's historic weather video, while I get to spend the day in the garden and give the voice a little bit of a rest and have a bit of a rest and whatnot. But that's coming up tomorrow. Videos will be back to normal on Tuesday. If you watch the videos regularly, you'll know the recording, the usual recording schedule on Tuesday. We'll be back live streaming on Wednesday. Wednesday's live stream is later this week. In future weeks, going to be from 6 o'clock. We're just going to try it out for a week or two, see how it goes. I think some people might be a little bit busy at that time. Again, there's their dinner and whatnot, so we'll just see what response we get. But I couldn't carry on with the Wednesday stream at 4 o'clock. It's just too much to be able to do that, and also the 5D forecast of a week to 10 minute update. So something had to change, and I'll push the Wednesday live stream back to 6, and we'll see how we get on with it. Of course, we're going to be here next Sunday as well, and I think with that one, we'll probably look at the CFS B2 for winter 2020. The CFS is always very, very reliable for something to look at. So I think we'll have a look at CFS next Sunday's live stream. Okay, great stream. Thank you so much, everybody. And with that, I'm going to end the live stream there. Stay safe and stay well. Enjoy your bank holiday Monday tomorrow. Check out the historic video if you can. And we'll see you again live on Wednesday from 6 o'clock. That's all for now, though. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.